Thiện đi là ngày thứ Bảy, cho nên đó là những người mà làm ngành tóc, ngành nail rồi đi rất là đông luôn. Là quan cảnh ở bên ngoài, mọi người đi vào dự cái show rất là đông, cho nên nó phải có cảnh sát họ điều phối giao thông. Rất là đông luôn, tại vì là tổ chức cái show này là gần cái phi trường Wahl, cho nên nó là rất là đông người qua lại. Còn mới có người cảnh sát họ điều phối giao thông như thế này. Mình phải đậu xe tốt ở trong đó cả nhà. Đậu xe ở tầng 3 luôn, không có chỗ đậu xe luôn, chạy kiếm mấy vòng luôn. Lên tốt trên đó đó, mình đậu xe. Cái trung tâm hội nghị này rất là lớn luôn, thường tổ chức những cái sự kiện lớn, nhất là cái sự kiện về ngành tóc như thế này, quy tụ những cây kéo trên toàn nước Mỹ rất là nổi tiếng luôn. Cả nhà thấy rất là đông luôn nè. Rất là đẹp luôn. Những người mà họ đi tham dự cái show này thường thường là những người làm tóc, những người làm nail, chủ tiệm tóc, chủ tiệm nail rồi, họ rất là nổi tiếng đi đến dự cái show này. Ở bên ngoài là có cái bảng là free covid vaccine, là không cần hẹn luôn. Những ai mà chưa chích vaccine thì vào bên trong có chỗ là chích vaccine liền mà ngay lập tức luôn. Mình đi vào trong cái show rồi, rất là lớn luôn. Đây là lần đầu tiên Hữu Thiện đi cái show như thế này, mình cảm thấy mình rất là vui luôn. Vé này cả nhà. Nếu như mình chưa có mua vé trên mạng thì mình ra đây mình mua, ship hàng mua nè. Một cái vé đi vào trong tham dự là 79 đô. Mà nó thì mình mua trên mạng luôn. Rất là đông. Bây giờ mình sẽ đi vào bên trong nha. Để đi vào thì họ có nhân viên họ có vé như thế này, mà chỉ cần mình mua cái vé trên mạng rồi mình scan vé thôi và đo nhiệt độ. Yeah, thank you.
I'm 7 take it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Xong vé. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Rất là cool. Have a nice day. Yeah, thank you so much.
difference?
I am dipping it actually in our robe, which is one of our like texture paste. So if you have somebody that has finer hair that the bobby pins kind of just slide out of, putting it in one of like your paste or milder texture, it's gonna actually hold better in the hair.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a little trick that we do. We both do mainly wedding hair at the salon quite a bit on top of cuts and colors. But yeah, no, Rogue is really interesting. It breaks down really, really easily with almost no residue. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's a really nice. Yeah. Come on up. Yeah. Good question, by the way. Good question.
No. Okay.
I got it. Up.
The first time I've done that this weekend, it's fine. Yeah. Cute bun. Already done. I like to use my fingers a lot too when I'm working with updos. I think it just gets a little bit better, like, I don't know. Comb sometimes gets too frizzy or too smooth.
I agree with that.
And then I got these nails so I can just get in there.
The claws.
Yes.
You got the claws.
I'll do my robe.
There you go.
Everyone always gets mad at me this salon because there's always these little holes in it. They're like, oh, Emily did another updo.
I'm the same. I feel you. That I take the divots with my fingernail. Basic trick with any of these, if you guys have claws, go over, not under. You won't ever get it under your fingernail. Yeah, I know. That was one of those moments in hair school where a teacher told me that and I went, huh.
Yeah.
Wish I would have thought of that sooner.
I am also left-handed and tall, so if you guys can't see, just get right up. Okay?
Very true. But that's why we work so well. Love it. Again, this is all based with a ponytail. She is not using 8,000 bobby pins. And she hasn't teased very much, has she? No.
And I'm using our textile, which is our dry texturizing spray. It does have a little bit of a hold to it, like a working hairspray. This is one of my favorites for updos because it gives that little bit of texture in it, but then it's not going to get me all sticky and tacky. I don't like that white residue. Yeah.
The coolest part is it locks. So the whole top locks.
Yeah, and it locks.
Yeah. So you can travel with it and you don't have that issue. I think we both have our own container in our hotel room.
I always carry mine in my purse.
Hey, you never know. You never know. Awesome. So, you guys...
So I have like 6 in there, and we're gonna tell you that we are sold out. So if you want it, you can put your name, and we're gonna sell.
I went to a couple different foot stores and did so many different things, and I found out Farouk was making cheap footwear. So I started wearing these within 2 weeks. My plantar fasciitis disappeared. It's going to increase blood circulation. It's antibacterial. And Audrey, let me get a shoe. She started that. Okay, antibacterial. And I think right now during COVID, that's a huge thing is because we're very focused on keeping the salon environment safe. And if you have shoes that are antibacterial, that's one less thing you got to worry about. It's going to keep comfort. And we also have insoles that go in here that's going to hit the acupressure and acupoints in your foot. And when that's hit, you're going to feel that blood circulation flowing throughout your legs, which is going to make a huge difference in how you feel at the end of the day. Because like I said, when I was going home, now that I had these, we worked on stage all day yesterday, Mago, and I got back to the hotel room, I kicked my shoes off, I was ready to go out. And I never felt that way out there.
The lightest shoes ever I wear, you know, I never feel that I have shoes on my leg. Nothing.
And I think the thing is too, Mago, is like when we do this, you've got the comfort of this. I've got a friend that's a nurse. He's really into the antibacterial. He's like, dude, what do you guys have with your footwear? I sent him to Mr. Farouk. Mr. Farouk sent his whole nursing staff shoes because they're antibacterial and they're on their feet all day long. As hairdressers, if we feel good, I'm telling you, we're going to do the most beautiful cuts and the most beautiful colors at the end of the day just because these are going to make us feel good.
You know, Brandon, the graphene technology makes big sense there.
Graphene technology is going to keep that blood circulation going. Your feet's going to feel good. You're going to be antibacterial, which is huge. Guys, we just want you to try the shoe. Try the shoe on. We got our good friend Audrey right here. She will set you up. If you sit down, you try the shoe, walk back and forth a few times, I'm telling you, within 2 weeks, you're going to feel the best behind the chair that you've felt in years. You're going to feel like you're 18 again. I feel like I'm like maybe 19, not quite 18 yet. All right, so go check out Audrey. She's going to hook you guys up with some cheap shoes, the cheap footwear. Just try them on. That's all we're asking. Just pick your size out, try them on, slide them on, and we'll get you taken care of. Just walk back and forth. As a hairdresser, health and wellness is very important. Because if your back hurts and your feet hurt, you know we're in trouble. So you're going to feel more energy. You're going to go into your salon. You're going to be vibrant. You're going to be ready to go. You're going to have that positive energy. You're going to stay out in the back room, no gossiping, because you're going to be ready to go and conquer the world that day may go. All right, what we got going on in the machine?
We already dispensed it.
You already dispensed it?
She have it, yeah.
Right, while I was talking, you did it all.
The fastest system, you know. It's fast, easy. Even we can have the app in our phone. We can have the app in our phone anywhere, everywhere in the world. When we are out of the country and we have a client that she needs to do her hair, just we can on the app make the color.
Okay, hold on, time out. You got that. Okay, so if I'm at the beach, if I'm on vacation,
yes,
and my client comes in,
yes,
and she needs color,
yes,
I can hit it here and it'll dispense it for you,
yes,
and you can apply it.
Just when you are relaxing at the beach, you can dispense the color from your
I'm
phone.
sold right there.
Just you can send the SMS to your assistant, say just go and take the color and put it on the client head. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So that's the thing when we talk about stepping it up to the next level. This is going to do over 35,000 plus different color formulations. So guys, if you've been coloring hair, you've been doing hair for years, you want to step it up a little bit, add a little bit of here, add a little bit there, let your fingers do the work. Tap it in, it's going to dispense, it's going to be ready to go. It's going to give you beautiful hair. The catalyst is going to last, and it's also going to save you a tremendous amount of money. Because, Mego, at the end of the day, I know every salon I've ever worked at, the business owner's main concern is how much are they squeezing out of that tube. If they're paying for it, they want to know how much is coming out of that tube. With this, you're going to find out exactly what's coming out the tube. You're going to see who's using the most color, and you're going to see who's doing the most work. And talking about beautiful work as well.
You know, Bradley, sometimes I ask myself, if I'm gonna do the pastel colors like pink or pastel lavender or any colors of this, so how many tubes I need just to mix it? Sometimes there is, with all my respect, there is lots of company, they make you the pastel color, but if you don't achieve the level that you want, the pastel color gonna go dirty and not nice. Yes, but here no, here very easy, because you're gonna level it your toner. So if you have level 8, so you're gonna work that pastel color on level 8. If you're gonna have it on level 9, you're gonna work it there. So this is the let you flexible, let you create more, and really you can feel that you are a real colorist with the color master.
Well, I think that's the thing too. It just expands your way of thinking. It just opens your mind up to so many different opportunities when it comes to hair color. Because for so long we're used to using these certain amounts. It's like, listen, when you guys go into certain restaurants and they have the Coke dispensing machine where you can do that, let me drop a little vanilla in here, let me drop a little orange in here. This is where technology is at. And as hairdressers, we have to stay on the cutting edge of technology and use things like the Color Master, because it's going to make you a better hairdresser. It's going to make you more money behind the chair. That's what we want to do, is focus on making more money. Mego, that's amazing, Rob.
Amazing, man.
Beautiful. Look at this work.
As quick as it.
Now, what color did you do on her as well? What color did you put on her?
Yeah, we mixed two colors here. It's the golden blonde and the resident blonde.
What was her original color when she came back?
Yeah, it was, if you see the shades on the light, there is the golden color inside and there is the resident. So we take one golden and one resident when I make the toner. So the formula was, so I used after bleaching with the bleach and shine.
Yes, sir.
So I did color root smelting, like the same root of her, it's 6N with 10 volume. And after that, I use the 9I, the formula, the 9I with violet additive for the iridescent color. And I use, for the gold, I use 8W with 9G with 10 volume to get that blending. If you see, the hair is very shiny and blending. So the special is that if you see the color, it's really very shiny on it.
And I think that's the key to a lot of hair color lines. You want to keep that shine, you want to keep that intensity.
Yes.
So when she goes out in public, she has that bounce, it's shiny, beautiful hair, and that's what we want to do. And anybody that wants to like really research the color factory, look deeper into it, we have guys over here that'll show you step by step by step exactly what to use on the color factory. Beautiful makeup, I love that color. Add a little bit of shine spray and she is rocking.
This is my, you know, the Chi Vibe. You want to know about the Chi Vibe? This is amazing hairspray. Why? I do lots of hairstyle, lots of ride. So I changed my hairspray to this vibe. Why? Because this is 2-in-1, Bradley.
Yes, sir.
There is good and great. The good, when you sweep left, it's a good. The good is natural hold. So natural after blow dry, or if you're gonna have an ironing, you know, it's very easy. And if you're gonna fix it in the end, you sweep to the right, it's gonna be gray. The gray is firm hold. So imagine, in one can you have a natural and firm hold. What do you think?
As a updo stylist, that's amazing.
What about all these innovations that you see now?
It's amazing. Between that, the footwear, the color master, we're ready to go as hairdressers and go out there and make a tremendous amount of money.
So, she's ready. What about her hair?
Beautiful.
You like it?
Beautiful.
Wait, come on. Thank you.
That's amazing. Come here. Hold on, I gotta see this again. Look at this. Look at this work. Look at that. Beautiful.
You want to see more? Faster? Come. You want to see more?
He's getting into it. He's feeling it.
Come on.
Yes, sir. Do it, Mako.
Yeah, this is...
Show Mako some love all the way from Lebanon here. Yes.
Welcome to the stage, the 2016-17 Baruch Systems International Artist of the Year, Bradley Tuggle.
Mackenzie, can you get us a motto? And she comes back, it's like, I was like, you give us a motto, not a lion's name, please? This girl has some hair. All right.
Just one.
Okay, what's the other two things you think?
I'm thankful for the fact that we have these cheap shoes because otherwise I would be sitting down back there blowing her hair dry.
Struggling.
And this know-it-all spray. This is your best friend if you want to speed up some blow dry time. Smells amazing and it conditions the hair.
That's why you keep spraying that.
Absolutely, and I want you to taste it as I spray it.
Yes, and I did, right in my face. All right, so guys, we have great innovation here today. This is our nano dryer. So anybody that wants to keep the environment healthy, because that's what we're all about here at Fruit Systems, is keeping that rod. What is up, brother? Much love to your mom, brother. Much love, brother. So anybody that's out here that's looking to keep that salon environment healthy, keep that salon environment safe, this is going to be the dryer for you. It's going to blow dry up to 50% faster. So when you're going through and smoothing that hair out, it's going to lock in moisture, it's going to lock in shine. And like I said, you see the blue light technology here? The blue light technology is going to kill bacteria in your salon. Right now with COVID, this is huge. This was the first thing I got. I ordered 6 of these for all of my staff as soon as COVID hit, because I knew when we were ready to open the doors, I needed to kill bacteria. And the reason I wanted this too is I told all of my stylists, explain what you're using here, because we want our staff to know, we want our clients to know that we're in a safe salon environment. What's going on, Mackenzie?
We did the exact same thing in our salon, and we can't keep that dryer in stock. Clients see it, they love it, they smell the difference. You get a chance, go over to the toolbar and turn that dryer on. You literally can smell the clean air coming out of it. So we're going to go through with the lava, which would be another highly thankful thing, because when you have someone that has a ton of hair, like a lion's mane, this lava technology, we can crank this iron up all the way up to 450 degrees and smooth her out in a one pass. You got yours cranked up?
She's going to need every bit of 450.
Every bit, yeah.
Every bit of 450. Like I say, my nieces coming to my salon. My nieces have super, super thick hair. I got this stretched all the way. You got any breathing room over here? Just slide out.
Yeah.
When my nieces come to the salon, I absolutely hate doing their hair because their hair is so thick. But now that we have the G-Lava technology, I can go through and smooth the hair out in one single pass, because this is going to consistently keep heat with the lava technology, right? Any other iron you're using, when you smooth out, it starts to lose heat about midway down. Lava is going to consistently stay hot all the way through the hair. We're so quick to buy the new iPhone, right? The new iPhone comes out. I know my brother's the first one. He's always the first guy in line when the new iPhone comes out. We're so quick to buy new phones. But update your technology behind the chair, because this is your career. This is your career. This is your life. Same thing with wearing footwear. We have to be healthy when we're behind a chair, and using the best tools and the best products is going to make a huge difference.
Absolutely. Talking about the newest tools and technology out there, we're covering up the main reason we're here. I'm going to go over that way and I'll pull this.
Yes, come on.
Behind us we have the brand new, partnered up with LG, Cheap Color Master Factory. This right here is going to be your GPS in the salon. It will take you from point A to point Z, keeping all of your color all in one. It has up to 35,000 different colors. Lost my phone, camera trying to talk.
That'll do it.
Start on like a dramatic look, dramatic pieces. The first layer I did around, just around, and I did this is the lower part. I did this section. I put it in the same model, and I did the seat. This one, the lower section, I did it bigger, like the hair, the one length, and when they cover it, see, you're gonna still see the nice, the same look, even look. And this is what first the top, I did it as a star, and now I'm going to do the second layer. I did it in yellow, to make my model bright, but usually the green and the red, they neutralize the opposite color. And if you guys don't know that, like I put that here, this is the why. It's like the treat, and also you can use this is color. You can as a treatment, and if you add some, we have the mineralization oil, and we do the we refresh the color, and we do the, like a deep treatment. We put the under dryer, and we have the fork. It comes with the 19 shades. And also we have the one clear. You can dilute any of these colors. You can dilute with that. And also we have the 3 fluor. This is the 3 colors. They glow in the dark. This is all 3 colors. Look at this. They're gonna glow like that. And also you can use this one, these 3 colors. You can use the regular ones and they're gonna still glow, but not that much, just like a little, but you're gonna still like get this line. Okay, now I'm gonna apply, this is the yellow fluor.
I try really hard to tell my clients that I don't want to see you that often. It's a horrible business model, but to justify charging $180 a haircut, I want it to last. And I want them to know that, like, if they have to push an extra week or even 2 weeks, it's not going to look perfect, but it's going to look presentable enough that they can get through that business meeting or event or whatever it is, right? So again, keeping my body parallel, feet parallel, aren't parallel, and I'm really getting in there before I even can see the hair. Because right now he has like a little bit of a cowlick right here. I'm starting even before where I can see the hair, so I have an understanding of his head shape a little bit. And as I'm moving up, very smooth, very slow, fluid motions all the way up, following this invisible line up to the sky until I have nothing to anymore, right? What was that? 7. Number 7 I like because it covers pretty much like each angle of the head. If I was using a 5, I'm more likely, I have more possibility to make dense or dark spots than a longer blade. Now, if I was doing scissor over comb work in just the perimeter and I wanted to use a lot of texture, and it's not so much about creating a fade or taking out bulk, then yes, I would use like probably like a shorter shear, right? So I have a little bit more control and finesse. If there was a point where, let's say I came in and like have a weird divot, right, or a line. What I could do to kind of knock out that line, it's like almost like an eraser. You go in it at different angles. Similar to a fade where you're kind of like poking at it a bit from like different angles, either with the shears or the corner of the clipper. It's the same thing with scissor over comb work. To knock out that, I could go at it from a diagonal and smooth that transition out. I just say I'm a short hair specialist, so just short hair for everybody, yeah. So Mari Damonte, that's me. So my Instagram is mari.damonte, that's just me. It's actually Portuguese, and I don't know where that came from. A hodgepodge of like random stuff. So my dad's British, but his family is from Myanmar, so that's where my first name came from. And then my last name apparently is Portuguese, but it's good. Nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you too. Another New Yorker in the room. See you later. Alright, I'll see you soon. So yeah, so again, I'm just trying to smooth out that transition with the finer part of my comb, and you can kind of start to see it's really starting to smooth out on its own. Not as perfect as a clipper, again, because that's not really what we're going for. We're looking for a more lived-in look anyways. And yes, I can come back in with a clipper and really kind of polish it off and really make it pop for like an Instagram-worthy photo. But let's just say this isn't going to be an Instagram-worthy photo. Let's just say this is just a shitty haircut for Colin that he's going to live with for the next couple of weeks. So we're going to make it as smooth as possible. Also, look at him. Look at him. So I use, these are Mizutanis. I use Mizutanis, I've used Hanzo's, both are really great. Both have different things that they're really good about. Hanzo has really great customer service. And then Mizutani I just love because I can pick and choose exactly how I want my shear. I can tell them like, I want a 7-inch with this sort of guard and this sort of fingertip. What is that? And I'm left-handed. Oh, are you? So as a lefty, those are my two favorite companies, Hanzo and Mizutani. So, and I know Hanzo has like a booth back there. So yeah. So I'm already seeing right now that he has a bit of a palette that wants to shoot out his hair in this direction. So again, if I were going to use clippers, I could easily make an accidental mistake, right? And I've seen a lot of people who aren't used to clippers, because I've done this before, where they kind of like go in rather than going up. And again, we're trying to recreate a more masculine silhouette. We do not want to go in. That creates a more round silhouette, which is more feminine based. We want a square silhouette, so we want to move out and up. Right? So I'm almost gonna like play with that and push this out so I know what not to touch, and I'm gonna hit that later. And again, I'm gonna go in, start my guideline, and slowly move out until I until I don't touch anything, right? Creating that invisible line straight up to the sky. Bring that invisible line straight up to the sky. And I think guys also, you know, if you're spending like more than the average money, I think they also love to see that you're going in with these details. I will come in with my shears or with my comb, and again, because I'm using a white comb, I can see the hair a lot better, and I'm physically picking out all of the squirrel hairs that are living behind his ear and individually knocking those out. And it's just like these little details. Could I go in with trimmers and do that? Yeah, absolutely. But there's some softness to that. There's a luxury to that. It's like an old stage presence to kind of give to your client if you're trying to like elevate it. Because I really don't believe if you're a hairstylist that you should really be charging a different price for men and women. I think you kind of based on time rather than gender. So like, if you want to charge more for a women's cut because you have to blow dry them, that makes sense, right? Takes more time. But if your haircut for a woman is about 30 minutes and a men's haircut is about 30 minutes, that price point, let's say if she wasn't getting a blow dry, it should cost the same. Things should cost the same. Was it you we were talking about? We were talking about beard trims. So when I was doing beard trims, I could charge, my haircuts are between 45 minutes and an hour. If it's a new client, it's an hour. For regular clients, it's 45 minutes, it's 180. So for a 180 haircut, if someone's getting a half an hour beard trim, they're going to be charged for whatever 30 minutes of 180 would be for 45 minutes. So it'd knock out, it'd probably be like $100, right? Or something around there. To make it worth my time. If it takes the same amount of time, the only thing more expensive than time is energy. And they kind of go hand in hand, right? So if a beard trim is taking me a half an hour, but a haircut takes me 45 minutes, I mean, it's almost a full haircut. So why would I charge $5 as an add-on bonus for a beard trim when it physically is taking me the same amount of time? So a lot of times when I do classes, we talk mostly about the concept of raising prices and how to raise prices and how to have that conversation with your clients. Because it really is one of the hardest things in our industry. It's like getting to that point. And Colin was saying this in his class earlier, which is, what else are you doing other than your skill set that's elevating your service and your prices? And I try to look at it as almost like a diagram where it's like, all right, here's me, and then what percentage of each thing am I using to elevate my haircuts? And I usually do it hospitality, skill set, and expertise. Now you can elevate your skill and your hospitality so much, but it's the expertise that really gives you that fuck you money, right? And expertise, I'm telling you, can be faked to a certain point. I know a lot of people out there, I've been doing this for like 16 or 17 years, and there's some cats out there who've been doing it for 6 months, and they cut better than me, and they have the same amount of experience because they really put themselves out there, and they're charging a fraction of what they should be charging. So how do you connect? And so when you're an athlete, I'm like a big runner, I'm a big advocate for running. There is this guy, his name is Eliud Kipchoge, and he is 45 years old, and he's the fastest marathoner on earth. And they were like, okay, it's never happened before. We want to break the marathon in less than 2 hours. That meant you had to take the fastest man on earth and make him 4 minutes faster. If you're already pushing yourself to that limit and you got no one but yourself to be challenged by, how do you do that, right? So they made up these terms called marginal gains. What are the little things that are literally going to shave up 10 seconds here, 30 seconds here, 20 seconds here, right? And it came down to his nutrition, his shoes, and his training. So they concentrated on his nutrition, shoes, and training. And then Nike made these 2%, 4% shoes that are supposed to make you 4% faster because that was like the percent, whatever. And then they made a shit ton of money and it was great. But he ended up breaking that world record. Now this guy was already the best in the industry, already the best in the world. He had no goddamn business pushing it to that level. And I think as hairstylists, we are our biggest critic and we are our biggest influence and we are our biggest wall to break through. So if you're feeling stuck, especially when it comes to your pricing, especially if feeling respected in your industry by your clientele, really sit and think and be like, all right, hospitality, skill set, expertise, what am I lacking on? Because at some point, I'm going to raise my price from 180 to 200, but I got to give something to ask for that. So I have to sit down and go through my structure. Is it the hospitality? Is the music set good? Am I dressed and to impress and showing up physically for work every single day, right? I forgot to wear deodorant, so that's why one aspect of hospitality that I'm lacking. Is it skill set? Is there something that I could get better at? Yeah, like that. You smell that cheese? Is it my skill? Is my clipper work? Is it my, going to educations, coming to trade shows, things like that, right? What sort of products am I carrying? Do I want to really carry like American Crew, or do I want to do a smaller, elevated brand that mimics what I'm selling, right? Like Orbay or Victory or something that I consider more high-end. And then it goes to expertise. Am I teaching my client what it's like to be someone with a perfect haircut? Because a lot of guys may have a perfect haircut and they don't even goddamn know it, and you have to educate them that this is your perfect haircut, this is the perfect haircut for you, and here is why. So a lot of times with the consultation, that's a perfect way to start. When someone first comes in, and automatically, so this is why for a new client I take a whole hour, because the first 15 minutes we're just shooting the shit and trying to get to know that, I'm trying to get to know that person. I'm looking at how they walk in, I'm looking at their demeanor, I'm looking at their shoes, I'm looking at their watch. I usually am like, oh, so where are you coming from? And it's like, oh, I'm coming from, I live in the financial district of Manhattan. And it's like, okay. I already automatically know a little bit about that person. Or if they're like, I'm actually coming in from Brooklyn and Williamsburg. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I already know what that sort of clientele is. So picking up these small things. We'll talk for about 10 to 15 minutes before we even talk about hair. So what do you do? Where do you live? How long have you been in the city? Getting all this sort of vibe, this creates trust. And that's part of the expertise, too, that you're trying to sell. I was saying on stage yesterday, I was like, I pay a fuck ton of money for my accountant to deal with my money because I don't want to deal with that shit. I'm bad at it, and so therefore I'm going to spend a shit ton of money on someone who's very good at it, and not only good at it, but likes doing it, is passionate about it, knows numbers, like taxes, like get them off, which is a weird thing, and that's someone I can trust. So that's what we are to our clients. I want to be so much more involved and invested in how he looks than he is, so that when he walks out, he's picked up on my energy of how stoked I am for him, and he walks out with that energy. All right? It's not necessarily what you're selling, it's how they feel. No one gives a shit. You can buy a brand new purse that's like $1,000 Gucci purse, but that feeling of holding on to the Gucci purse is a whole nother level, right? My haircuts are either free or they're really fucking expensive. I'm not here to give out discounts for friends and family and all that stuff, because it's my time and my service. If someone is like, hey, I'm like down and out and I need a haircut, I have no problem doing it for free, but it's either completely free or it's full price. So if you're trying to give out deals or like try to you can do that. Try to do it with products. Don't do it with your skills. Try not to be like, oh no, hey man, like your first time in, your next one is half off, or if you bring a friend in, like it's half off for them, or like let me give you a free cleanup or a beer trip. Because then it starts to give this sort of mentality that your skills are just time for you. The most expensive thing other than time is your energy. I could spend 2 weeks on something that I love doing that has no energy on my part, and I do it for free. I could spend 5 minutes doing my taxes, and it costs more than spending 2 weeks doing something I love. You know what I mean? So try really hard if you're handing out things, or if you're trying to get people in the door. Try your best not to discount your services. Try to do, I don't know, a free product or some sort of thing like that, because one, it's something that they can actually physically hold on to and bring home and then remember every single time they use that product, and what a great deal that they got and what a good haircut they got, as opposed to being like, oh, let me sneak you in for a free whatever, right? So we're gonna stop japping away. So again, I'm just kind of fading out, straight up, not touching this treble area because I'm going to work with that. You had a buzz? So he had it completely buzzed before, which in a weird way is actually really great, because a lot of guys have been doing this in the pandemic. So we're basically, when you buzz everything, you're cutting every single hair exactly the same. And it's a round head, which means that every hair is going to grow out exactly the same, which means it's going to be really round and prickly and kind of like that porcupine Sonic look. So I'm going to have to keep certain hair and leave certain hair to create that image of a square unit rather than a round unit. Right? So
same process that I used on the other side. Basically going to come up, I'm going to open up the lever, get that nice long throw on the lever so that I can start to stretch out that blend. And I'll work to the back of the ear on this side. And then I'm going to take my clipper, I'm going to go halfway open. And I always have a really nice light grip on my clipper because I want to make sure that I'm able to finesse that a little bit easier. I don't want to press into the head too much. It doesn't do me any favors. I always feel like it's a telltale sign when you have somebody that's new or uncomfortable with clippers because they always like hold on to it with both hands for dear life and they mash it into the head and they like do this constantly, right? Have you guys ever seen that? So it's important. I basically hold it almost like a TV remote, and as far as tension, I really am almost like to the point where I could drop it. Okay, so I really want to be nice and light with it. I want to have control, but at the same time, really have the movement freedom to be able to kind of like flick my clipper out. And the lighter that I go in there with my clipper, the more I'm able to kind of, you'll see me doing like a little bit of a C shape when I fade, and that creates a softer blend line so that it's easier for me to get it out as opposed to putting the clipper in and just coming up like that. Okay.
So one of the reasons I switched over to the Legend, again, we talked about having that longer throw, right? So the teeth on this expand a little bit more than they do on the Magic Clip and the Senior. So I like to go back and just kind of pick that fade out using that longer lever because I feel like that helps really just tie in the missing gaps, right? So anytime that I see these weight spots down here or that darker density, I can go through it almost point cut my haircut out, right? How many of you guys, whenever you're working with the top, when you see weight, what do? Point cut, right? We want to do the same thing with our fades, but unfortunately this hair is too small for me to grab. So it's kind of one of those things where you almost have to take a couple of the teeth and just use that corner to just start to flick. Wherever that density is, you guys can kind of just spot pick it out. And this is almost like just customizing that fade, seeing it how you want to see it.
So talking about having one of the most important things like that is your tool when it comes to barbering, when it comes to especially like clipper work, is going to be lighting. How many of you guys have ever worked in a shop with bad lighting? Right? You create shadows, right? And those shadows are really difficult to deal with sometimes. And a lot of times, I feel like we just get used to bad lighting, and we just assume that that's just how our haircuts are supposed to look, right? But then you get put in a situation where you have great lighting or natural lighting, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so much easier. So, when we think about fades, it's, like I said before, it's not necessarily about placing one length next to another to create a fade. It's basically an illusion of light. What happens is, as we cut that hair down and it's shorter, it basically allows more light to pass through and hit the scalp. So it's an illusion, right? And then at its longer length, what happens is that hair is a lot denser. So it basically shields the scalp from getting any light hitting it, right? Which is what creates those darker areas. So by taking it and basically cutting certain areas shorter and leaving certain areas longer is how we create that gradient of color tone throughout the haircut. So when I think about it, my fading and my clipper work is almost kind of similar to like sculpting, right? Like I just sit there and I chip away at it until I see the shape that I want to see underneath, right? Whereas when it comes to scissor work and when it comes to, especially precision haircutting, it's more like kind of building a house. Like you're basically trying to basically create support and things like that will basically channel the direction that the hair flows, take out weight, build graduation, things like that. The two are a little bit different when it comes to the method of execution. So I feel like, I always talk about how important mindset is, and we always, whenever Trevor and I do classes, I always say that 99% of barbers and stylists don't fail because of a lack of physical ability, but rather because of a lack of mindset. The reason I say that is because we all have two hands, right? We all have one mind. So basically, it's learning how to think your way through a haircut and have that process and understand the techniques that you're using so that it all comes easy and you're just like, oh my gosh, I get it now, right? And that's where the creativity comes, because you're no longer stressed out about whether that haircut's going to be good or not. You know it's going to be good.
sense, I might just never know. I just kind of like start cutting hair and then I listen to the hair. So when I see something in a fade or when I see something in a design, sometimes I'll go back through and just manipulate the basic form of it, right? So what I have here is a line going straight down, but just because the base of it is where this line is placed, I want to just come through and kind of curve it in a little bit, just because I feel like that would look kind of cool. So when it comes to adding lines or doing any signature work, it really all comes down to your guys' vision. John talked about having a stress-free mind, allowing you to have creativity, right? A lot of that is true when it comes to working with haircuts like this. If you guys have a system and you have a procedure that you guys follow every single time, then you guys are going to be more confident approaching a haircut. I always say, it doesn't matter if I'm working on this haircut, it doesn't matter if I'm working on a comb over, it's always the same approach. It's always the same systematic approach. If I'm doing a fade all the way around, or if I'm fading around the line, if I'm fading down into a beard, it's always the same system every single time. So I'm just going to take this line and just open it up a little bit more.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of just now finishing up with the fade portion, and then I'm going to move on to the back and just kind of knock that out real quick. So I think that, you know, as I'm working through here, you can see the blend kind of like being stretched out, and you can see that I've still been able to maintain that weight in through the top, which I think is incredibly important. The transition from the sides to the top is one of the hardest things that I think, you know, I had to learn when it came to clipper work, and I was always terrified of clippers, to be honest. I was always, my first love was always scissors, and so, you know, but because I didn't understand it and I wasn't good at it, I feel like it drove me to become better at it and use it as a challenge for myself. So, you know, as I started to learn it, I realized that we're basically creating the same thing, right? We're creating graduation in through the sides by using clippers, so it's basically the method of execution just changes. So I'm really trying to make sure that we maintain that square shape in through the corners to create like a really nice buildup of weight in through there. And then as we move through the back, it'll be pretty easy to figure that out. So when it comes to lineups too, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my cordless detailer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in. I know on this side we did a verse fade, right? So what I did is I created a little bit of extra length into that front to basically pop that lineup, especially because she has really, really light hair. That hair disappears really quickly. So I had to make sure I left that area, otherwise she wouldn't have a hairline, if that makes sense. So I've worked with her hair a couple times. I know the potential, you know, pitfalls and things like that. So it just made me better, right? Like, it's really interesting because I feel like every single client that comes and sits in my chair, I'm always a little bit better every single time. Every single time. But how many of you guys still have clients that you've been seeing for years that like you hate their hair every time they leave? Right? I still do too. So, like I said before, we're working on an organic shape, right? Like, so we're going to make every single haircut the best that it can possibly be. But don't let anybody trick you into thinking that every single haircut that walks out is beautiful, right? Every single haircut is as beautiful as it can be, right? Because we're working with something organic. Now, that being said, we're always going to post the stuff that is better looking, right? We're always going to post our best work. I'm never going to sit there and, you know, basically, I'm not going to post like a number 5 on the sides and a square neckline. It's not going to work, right? We want to put out our best. We want to put out the stuff that we want to see more of in the chair. And so the stuff that you post more of is what you're going to get. I had a long time, you know, when hard parts were like the big thing for a while, I felt like every single haircut that I did was a hard part. And so I just kept taking pictures of them. And I had this one guy that I had used to work with, and I think he was kind of trying to be a jerk to me and was just like, oh yeah, it's great that you're taking pictures of your haircuts, but every single one looks the same.
And I'll explain separately the steps. When I did that, I split the hair in the middle, and I move forward from vertical section that you can see. Tailor.
So now I'm just breaking up the back of the hair a little bit. I do actually want to create a little bit of lift just so that it's a little bit more edgy. So I'll comb all of the hair down. I'll use my blade to actually pick the hair up. Let's see. Everyone see? I'm going to pick the hair up with the blade, insert the comb underneath, pat the hair in so that I have a nice view of the density. It looks a little bit lighter on this side. So I'm going to focus on the dark side and just do some point cutting to break up that line a bit. Comb it down, take my next section. Do we have any questions so far? I've noticed a lot of you guys have been here for the whole haircut, which is super flattering, and I know Alessandro is very attention grabbing.
Don't say that. You made me feel that I was the center of the attention. We are the same. Just like I'm a foreigner. So, I was joking, of course. Guys, I love the fact that you stay here. I always try to make everything looks funny and interesting, and I'm loving to share the stage with Taylor. Thank you for coming to see us. Hi girls, hi, how are you? So, feel free to come around, feel free to have questions, because my throat is a little tired to talk. Taylor's throat is tired too, so feel free to ask questions because we want your question, any question. It can be about hair, it can be about everything you want. Feel free about our life in our salons, everything you want to know about Wahl, about tools, feel free. In the meantime, as you can see, I create some choppy, removing the roundness. I kept this area pretty long because I start on the top this time, for the simple reason that I don't know how this hair is going to evolve, and I prefer to start here to decide how to open on the side later. Coming back to what Taylor was saying about ascending and descending, right? Ascending and descending fades.
Descending going downward.
Yes, I listen, you see?
Ascending going upward. Do we have any questions? Come on, you guys gotta have something for us. I've been behind the chair like 4.5 years, almost 5. I went to cosmetology school originally, and I feel like I just didn't have the patience for long hair. I have a short attention span, so I kind of fell into a barber shop and I was like, oh, I actually really like this, and then ended up going to barber school. So there was a little bit of a detour there, but I've been behind the chair about like 4.5 years. For anyone who's in the Chicagoland area, I was blessed to open a barber shop about 8 months ago in Downers Grove. I like to think of it as a gender-neutral place where anyone can feel welcome if you guys want to come hang out. But it's called Headspace. So all of these amazing humans work there, so you can come hang out with them too.
Cool. No way, that's the team. Nice to meet you. Can I come and hang out in your shop too? Can I come and hang out? Who say no? Okay then, I'm not coming. I'm gonna go across the street, there is another barber shop. Can I come to hang out in your barber shop one day?
You were supposed to come the last time you were in town.
And after you didn't invite me? I love her shop. I saw some pictures, a very cool one, and I love her because she's very talented. You say that you're working for 5 years now?
Behind the chair, yeah.
It's, you know, look at what she does. Power, eh?
Yep. How long have you been behind the chair?
Way longer, but I'm young. I went to a school, you know, in Italy. Here in America, guys, you're so lucky because I don't know in the state of Illinois, but in New York, people go to school for 8 months. And after they come to the salon, they don't even know how to hold the broom in his hand.
It's the same here.
Okay. So basically in Italy, my school, it's 3 years when I did it, and now it's 4 years. So you get like, you know, more than 4,000 hours of
like
school.
College education for hair.
So they're gonna give you a nice base to be able, but when you leave the salon, you have a license and you're able to open your salon, but you know how to do some basic stuff. You're not good because our job is patient. I started to do a school of hairstylist in the north of Italy where I'm from a beautiful place. There is a big lake called Lake Garda. There is the Dolomites in the back, is the mountain, is in the north. And I started the school in the 1988. and I finished the school in 2001, and I was working all the 3 years every day in salon. And since 2001, I'm working in the salons, before in the north of Italy, after I worked for 11 years based in Milan, but everywhere in Europe. And after I moved to New York because I want to be in America, and New York is a good place to be. So, good.
You'll have to tell us where the Fountain of Youth is.
What?
Because you can't tell.
Sorry.
You'll have to tell us where the Fountain of Youth is, since you're not aging.
I don't understand what you say. What's the fountain? Sorry. Explain again. Explain again.
We love you. We love you.
Please try again.
I said you're not aging.
No. Anyway, what I want to say is just something about what you were saying about working with patients. For who is new, put a lot of patience and a lot of time, because it's going to pay you back. When I teach class, to people that work for 40 years, and I get message on social media and or email or the companies, they say, I really like the way you teach me haircut, the technique you teach me, because I don't work just with boards or clippers, so I work also with scissors, explaining different technique. And when the person that worked for a long time tell you, you changed my way to see haircuts and to work, it's a nice satisfaction that goes above all the money that you can make in a lifetime, from my perspective. So put patience on what you do, you, your team, me, everybody here who worked for a year, who worked for 20, and just keep going with the haircut. You were almost done, can I see it?
Yeah.
It looks amazing, I like it. Look at me, I really, really like it. And now guys, I have to keep going with my minds. That here's a salon new, or a business called Smile, right? I know, I learned it. And as you can see, I debulking the roundness on the top, and I'm already happy, and I just started. So, I work all of this area with clipper. I'm gonna finish this area with clipper, and after here I'm gonna do with scissors just to show you the difference. I was working with guide middle, section in the middle. I was going below the finger, adjustable lever open, and I was taking now, I just to take away a little part that I left, but the hair is too dry for only one blade. So I wet the hair a little. Taylor, you put, which finishing product did you apply on your client? I didn't see it.
So I used the matte control cream. I used about a penny size before I blow dried, and then I put a little bit more in after I blow dried, once the hair was completely dry. And
we don't even have to texturize this, people. We don't even have to do that. It's already used, we already have thin hair, and we need some kind of like hair so that we can grab and throw it to the back. I'm just getting over like a bit to see if I got anything that needs to be taken off. Already have a great give you guys a look of how net fade or stretch fade looks like. Going to the skin, this is a razor blade. Use a razor and you can see how clean that looks. I mean, it's not the same when you work with a zero close or with the trimmer. Even with the trimmer, sometimes you don't get to the clip. You have to do it with a razor or a shaver. You know, that's the best way to get that clean fade going. And if you see some areas that you need to light up, They'll buy it just to get that perfection. So it's already good on the top. Now we're going on the beard. Yes, it's still. Today you're getting the full. Not all the time. I've always prepped my models. This time I just made it from zero. Now for the beard, I like it to be rich and full, so I won't take that much, especially from this side. I can let him look like that, you know, I can't. So it's light. So the thing is that it's light over here, and it suddenly becomes dark, you know? We don't have like a gray area. Mostly the gray area is on this, is over here. That's when this comes in. But so we don't have that gray area, we're going to create it. Okay? We're going to create that area. I'll switch over the phone. I don't want to take that much. Now it looks even.
So I'm going to do a freestyle design, whatever comes to my head. So normally I'm just going to start off with the straight line. So I can start off with a straight line. Curve it as I'm going through.
With the beard, it's a different process. If you don't want to use, if you don't want to get light your beard, and it's already the way it is, the way you want it, or the client wishes. It's a different process, because it's not a fake. You have to reverse it, okay? If it comes down to a skin fade, sometimes the best way to get this, like soft and smooth, is to get a reverse fade. So you have to reverse the fade. Not going up, but going all the way down. Okay? So it's almost the same technique, but going from down to top. So this is a reverse. Okay? I'm going to show you guys. We're going to start off with a 1.5 guard, as we did on the side. We're just going to take some bulk out of this and work our way up. This time I'm not pressing, okay? This time I'm not pressing. I'm just placing like the guard to the top of the beard. Okay? I see some dark areas of the blade. And you can already see how the fade is going. Zero. I'm getting close to the skin. Closer. And over with what's left. And you can see that we got to a point where it's blended. We good from the beard, going all the way to the skin fade that I just did. Okay? And you can see the light, the brain. So we got that side, we got the right side on popping, and we got the left side. My side is more popping than yours. We have my side is more popping than yours. If you guys feel better, I'll give you guys more, okay? So I'm gonna do my side and you do yours, okay? Okay, 1, 2, 3. I'll give you another try. I'll give you another try. Like industry is doing. No way. I'll give you another try. I'll give you another try. Okay, so they're gonna give me another try. Don't worry. Make this still gonna be doing his thing, okay? Okay? So 1, 2, 3. Go! That's good. I want to hear my side now. Alright, just put your hands up, alright? Just put your hands up, Becky. Because we don't want to pay attention because you know. Get it. 1, 2, 3. Oh, come on, Sky. Come on, man. Come on, Sky. Come on, man. You see what's going on? You see what's going on? Oh, so now you want to try. Now that you see what's going on, I'm pretty good girls. I got girls on this side. They're hyped up, scream as loud. They're hyped up. No, they're not. It's good what I have for you guys. If you start doing your thing, I'm giving the good stuff, okay? So let's do it. Let's let them know, okay? 1, 2, 3, go! My side's louder, it's still louder. I'm not gonna make you noise even louder. That makes me want to keep them away this. Okay, here my side. 1, 2, 3. Good job. You heard it, right? I need some of this. They deserve real product. It's kind of even, man. They deserve real product. It's kind of even, man. Okay? So, who wants the good stuff? Who wants the good stuff? Yeah? Who wants? People, we're giving away a lot of free stuff today. Yeah, we need more people around. Yeah. Fireworks. If you haven't tried our fireworks, amazing watch. I mean, this has a lot of functions. You can use it with that natural look. Fireworks with the O. Go on. I get this. What about this side? Let me hear you guys. Yes. Put your hands up, please. Put your hands up. This is not proper. This is not proper. You know? Let's go. Oh, come on. Yes. Yeah. Who has it? I got 2 more. One for this side, one for that. Come on, let me hear you guys. Yeah. This side, yeah. Come on, man. I got some more. So, have you heard of the styling powder? Have you heard of the styling powder? No? You know what styling powder is? Let me tell you guys. This is our styling powder. It's got in a mouth. This is perfect. If you're trying to achieve, you're trying to get volume, if you want to, put into it that texture, this is the product you need. Getting that natural look, with all that, booty, stuff, if you don't like that, then okay, we have it. But if you're not looking for that, you're looking for more like a dry look, more like an extra look, natural, this is what you do that. Bobby, everything is right here. So this is what I'm giving away. And these are not samples. These are not samples. So this is one of my favorites, but I use them a lot. Okay, first of all, who wants it? There you go. Who wants it on this side? I might stick to this side. What are you? Another one? Another side? Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3! Let me hear you guys. 1, 2, 3. It's going up. It's going up. Oh, yes. styling powder. Yeah, styling powder, man. Styling powder. And this is the good stuff. This is not the stuff that you eat. This is not sample. You know that's not sample. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Let me hear you. Let me hear you. 1, 2, 3. Put your hands up. How many hot? If you guys have any questions on any product, I'm pretty tight. Very good. Yeah? Yeah? All of you are looking at. I might do that. His birthday. His birthday. Man, I'm helping you out, bro. Come on, man. I mean, this is cheating, okay? On stage, live Photoshop. Live Photoshop for you guys. Just a quick look so that you guys know how a perfect, how does a perfect haircut look like? There you go. Right in front of your eyes. So I'm going to pass the mic to Angie so he can explain a little bit what he's doing with the planning and everything. Yes?
Talk me well.
All about their rhythm.
Talk me well. This one's for you, dog, baby. I'm gonna call my wife later and say, Liz, you're gonna be proud of me. I took my time on Danny. So each move that I showed you, all you have to do is practice these moves and put them in different situations. All your mind. Thank you ladies for coming. I appreciate y'all. Yep. Y'all stayed longer than you really wanted to. I appreciate it. Thank you. They were learning so much. So we got it popping over here at the Andy station. So watch this. I'm going to apply a detailed line on the outer perimeter, which would be the edge of, and watch how I pull that thing right on in together. Watch this. Are these causing you any discomfort, sir? Are they hurting you at all? Okay, cool. I'm going to turn my clipper over. I'm going to erase any hair on the outer perimeter of my hairline. Just like so. There, man. Miss Scoria is gone. Yes, sir.
What was your Instagram again?
Eclipse LLC. That's ECLIPS LLC. Yeah. Guys, make sure that you go check out what we have left at the booth. I can't promise you that everything will be around tomorrow, but if you're interested and you like what you see, you want to go touch something, feel something, see what the weight of it feels like in your hand. We have these stations right over here with the pannikins. You can touch and pick up and cut whatever you want. All right. We also, y'all guys see this black podium here? You'll point at it for me. Point at that black podium. Yeah, that black podium right there. If you scan that QR code, you can win one of these tools right here for free. So make sure you scan it on your phone, register for the joint. So watch this. I call this the principle of, what do I call this part I'm going to talk about? The principle of connection. Principle of connection. No, I'm not saying that right. But what I want to deal with is how a design flows. You see how I have a triangle here? Alright, I have these areas right here with these points that look like triangles as well. I'm going to throw one up in the front. I just saw a real nice spot up in the front for a triangle to live, and that brings about what I call balance. That's it, the principle of balance. That's it. Here we go. The principle of balance. Watch how I throw this little triangle in here. I'm like Wahl with the Clippers, man. We're going to put a triangle, a nice little cute triangle to live right here. Yeah, right here. Just like so. Oh, just like that right there. Nice, man. I'm excited. So we're going to finish you up, bro, okay? Oh, sorry. We're going to finish you up. Damn, man, I lied in this story. I like to keep my word, but life don't always work out like that, do it? Any of you guys have a hard time doing this line right here? No? Everybody good right here? You do? Cool. I'm going to show you something about this line right here. Do me a favor, man. Just kind of hold it for me over. Take it off here. And then you can hold it. No, if you can't, just hold it right there. You comfortable like that right there for now? Alright, cool. I'm going to show the people something. Lied to my friend. She going to be mad at me. I told her, I said, come back over here at 3 o'clock. I got you. Yeah.
I can walk with this. What does the moral of the story, guys? It doesn't matter who you are, you can be guy kind of there. There was still people out there that won't like you just because it's you. Or because, I don't know, they're jealous. I won't say that the lady was jealous. Eventually she loved me. And after I cracked that joke, she was like, oh, I can't with you. Your jokes are too good. But you should not put that in between. So I'm still working on that. And I think I'm going to stop over here, guys. Let me do one more. Did you like this one? Easy? So guys, I graduated school, finally. It was more, every time I was in school, it was more language talk, like sign language, because I didn't understand any English. Out of 18, I think 18 of us had it, or more. Only 6 of us graduated. Out of those 6, only 3 of us are doing hair. Out of those 3, I'm the only one who got my name out there. In school, I've been told that I will not make it, that I should come back when my English improved. The first school that I applied to was a full Mitchell school. They denied my application because my English was too poor. 2 weeks later, I went to a different one. They accepted me and they felt sorry for me because they have to do the extra work in it, right, to make me understand. I graduated, went to the chair in the salon soon as I graduated because I thought, I went to 2 schools, I know it all, I'm the shit. For my brain to repeat, don't say that word again, don't say that word again, don't say that word again. Now, you can go all the way down, or you can stop halfway through. You can do just 2 lines if you want, or you can do more. I want to show you, I don't want to see you doing repetitive steps, so I'll go to the next one. Are you guys okay with that? So you can really go all the way down if you want to. amazing because I had to keep my job as a property manager to pay my bills. And instead of assisting, I went into renting thinking that I know it all. So here I am 2 years in of renting, barely having any clientele, getting myself into debt and paying my share with credit cards. And still working as a property manager, having my kid with me in the office during office hours, then taking her with me to the salon.
Họ để tông cơ ở đây, mình kiểu